Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group, coming to you today with another Tactical Tuesday. It's a little bit late in the day, 2:37, but that's okay. I'm back on doing these podcasts pretty much as I go. I got a couple of them pre-recorded, but that's usually the interviews. Because I will actually go live with the interviews inside of the Facebook group, but typically they have a certain day that they're going to be dropped on the podcast. But this is today, Tuesday, live. As soon as I'm done with this, I actually upload it, drop it on the podcast, and we got another podcast. So still on my journey for 1 year worth of recording podcasts each and every day. I think we've done a really good job mixing it up. I will tell you that Winter Wednesday is starting to gain some momentum. I want to say the very first week, it may have gotten a few of you to write some reviews. And then as we progressed, each and every week, we're tending to get quite the steady flow of reviews, which is really cool. And to me, I want to send you guys some cool shit. Some of you guys in the Marketing Savage Facebook group checked out some of the engraved bottles of very rare tequila that I got. That I had given away in some of the previous giveaways. So all kinds of cool shit there, y'all. And it only takes a few minutes on iTunes. So if any of you guys have not done that, jump on it, guys. This is going to help. And I actually talked about this earlier. Not only do the reviews help me with growing the podcast, but the reviews are going to help you, because the more reviews that we have on the podcast, the different types of guests that we're going to be able to have on this podcast. And you guys know me, man. I'm trying to get some knowledge bombs, some serious marketing knowledge bombs from our guest. Actually, just did an interview earlier today with Tom Ziglar, he's the son of Zig Ziglar, and he runs the entire Zig Ziglar legacy. I want to call it an empire because it's what it is. It's a full-blown coaching empire, training empire. And man, what an incredible guy. I mean, we had a absolute killer interview. And for you podcast listeners, that's going to be coming out this Sunday. For anybody who's in the group, that was live in the group. So here we go, guys. Another Tactical Sunday. Again, take the time, drop a review on here, because again, that's going to be something that if I'm bringing value, I just say there's a price to pay, and it's to write a review and tell a friend, as Andy Frisella says. I definitely picked that up from him, but it's so perfect. Tell a friend and write a review. But this is the only podcast when you got the chance to win each and every week. So I like to put a little icing on my cake, man. I like to put a little icing on that damn cake for you. And that's the icing on the cake. So I want to talk today on Tactical Tuesday about how important it is to have a group. And any of my coaching and consulting clients, and I've got quite a few clients that I help out in basically in the expert space. And there's a lot of people that want to hire me to look at their entire game plan, to put together usually a new game plan for them, and to continuously keep them accountable until we launch them into the expert space. And one of the very first things that I do, or that I talk about to any of my clients, is like, how can we, integrate a group into this? It's said, I mean, it's literally, people will come initially for the product or service, but people will stay for the culture and the community that you built. So how many of you guys out there are not managing your own group? If you've raised your hand, then that's something that you absolutely need to integrate into your marketing. Not only is a group giving you that community feel, that cultivation of a community, but also on Facebook, they give higher algorithm to groups. So Facebook has been gearing towards groups for quite a long time now, and they really tend to push the algorithm that when something happens in your group, and if the individuals go back there quite often, they're going to be alerted that something's happening. It's a live video. There was a post in the group. If there's a post with tons of comments in the group, they're definitely going to be alerted as they log into Facebook and they start scrolling down the wall. It's got a very high algorithm. Your personal profile has a high algorithm. Your Facebook page has a shitty algorithm. I will tell you, it depends though on the Facebook page thing, because some of you guys, if you are lucky and you've really did what you should be doing as a business owner and you've kept up with your Facebook page, you may have a crazy good Facebook page. That's the way it is. One of my business partners and one of his other businesses, his Facebook page is off the hook all the time, but he hasn't stopped posting live videos on there since Facebook pages were the thing. I mean, we're talking like 10 years ago or something like that. I would say one of my companies, denttrainer.com, our Dent Trainer Facebook page is off the hook. I mean, every time I go live on there, tons of people get on it. Now, years ago, we ran these contests where it encouraged people to subscribe and get notifications. So I got to contribute part of that to our early on strategy of basically coaching people to get notifications, because we were always giving shit away. We're like, hey, you know what, man, you want to join this contest? One of the things you got to do is not only, subscribe to the contest, but you also got to turn the notification thing on, because if we're giving shit away and you're not there to get it, then we're going to have to give it away again or something like that. You won't be notified. So early on, that strategy worked really well. And that's why I super contribute like how powerful that page is to just doing that. But if you're just jumping in and you got a business, and you'll notice that the page is, a lot of that's a ghost town, because Facebook set it up to where really the only way that you can scale and grow that page or get in front of your audience, get in front of a massive amount of people, is that they got it set up to where you've got to advertise with them. So Facebook pages, that's ideally what that is for nowadays, is to utilize as a advertisement base. And there's some different techniques and things like that. And I'm definitely going to get into that with you in the future. But coming full circle to groups, I believe that you should find a way, regardless of what type of service you're in, to cultivate the people, your avatar, the people that would purchase your stuff inside of a group. Now, there's a lady that I consult with and talk to quite often, and she's a member of my inner circle. And she has like a higher end type lending thing going on. I won't go into too much detail because I don't want people to figure out who she is, but a higher end lending thing going on. And she actually has a group locally to her area that is that of a wine club. Well, what she found is that her ideal clients typically like to drink wine. And now I'm not talking about like that shit we used to drink when we were kids, like that Boone's Farm shit, because I used to drink. I remember Strawberry Hill Boone's Farm. I just go through all of, like, they had a strawberry daiquiri one, all kinds of shit. Like, not talking about that kind of wine. I'm talking about that fucking uppity shit. You know what I mean? That stuff when you go in and it's like $100 a bottle, or even more than that at some points. And these folks love that high end experience of wine tasting. Well, I would happen to be, if somebody enjoys fucking high end wine, they're not drinking Mad Dog 2020, so they fucking got money, man. It's just putting two and two things together. I knew people that are in the automotive industry that got together car clubs, because they wanted to lead a car club and they were passionate about car clubs. My friend Burton Hughes, who has a roofing company out in Nashville. He drives a badass fucking Ferrari. I don't even know what model it is, but he specifically buys and flips Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and shit like that. So he can go to like the hangouts, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's Cars and Coffee or if it's some other hangout that they have where a bunch of people roll up in really nice cars. I guess they do this quite often, different areas in the Dallas, Texas area. There's tons of money over there. But it's a way for him to get to know people, because the dude across from him that's driving the Lambo probably has a fucking $2 million home. And as much damage that Dallas Fort Worth and that area gets in hail damage, it's good to be shaking the motherfuckers' hands, letting them know exactly what you do for a living. And what I like about what Burton talks about is that he's literally building a community around what he loves to do, naturally. So it comes natural to walk up to somebody and just talk about, dude, fucking look at that, that Lambo SVJ, Aventador or whatever, man, what year is it? Da, 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 on and on and on, man. So if you can really relate on something, you can build a community or a group around it. And I would go as far to say, because we actually have Arnie Giske coming on next week inside of the Inner Circle. And Arnie has literally, this dude has helped his clients build groups with members of over 10 million. So he's literally helped his clients get 10 million members inside of their groups, all together. Arnie has helped people build massive amounts. I mean, groups that are making people like 7-8 figures, which is incredible. And but he actually years ago, his name was like Facebook something da da da, and he actually changed his company's name to Community Conversion, because if you really look at it, what is a group? A group is a segment of a community, right? So regardless if Burton is down there walking around talking to people face to face, shaking their hands with that are driving Lamborghinis, or we got the I'll just say her first name, Nancy, who is out there and having a wine club online and then turning it into like physical social gatherings. I mean, it doesn't matter either or, whether or not it started on Facebook or whether it's a gathering that's one-on-one in person. The whole deal is that you're bringing a community together with common interest. And when you bring a community together with common interest, if they align themselves with who your avatar is, who the people that you're trying to sell your products or services to, you can really build something amazing. But I've done this a lot. Many of you guys know I probably manage like 6 or 7 different groups. The Marketing Savage group is the newest one, actually. And it's grown pretty good in the last 6 months. And we already started the Inner Circle. I mean, it's the right people. It's targeted. It's you people that are listening to this podcast are my people, man. Y'all are my people. And so I want you guys to think about that. Like, in your business, what are the type of groups that you can put together that would bring your ideal clients and customers? Because that stuff, the free stuff, is like top of funnel type shit, meaning you're out there just building awareness. There's a certain percentage of them that will become paying clients, but my friends, you got to get out there and you got to do the work. You got to hustle. You got to build the community. You got to build the group. But not only do you got to build the community, you got to make sure that motherfucker doesn't go stagnant, because that happens to a lot of people who build groups. I see them, they get a group, they go gun ho, 2 or 3 weeks. They're wondering why the fuck is not everybody like commenting and talking and helping them, keep the group fired up. And that's because that shit doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time, it takes a long time to drop the type of value that gets people to continuously come back and begin engaging inside of your group. I believe we're starting to get there with the Marketing Savage group, but regardless, I have a regiment. Like, every day I post a video in there. Every time I do an interview, I go live in there. And I post some different success memes. I highlight a Marketing Savage every week. I do Winter Wednesday live in there. This is not by chance. This is not something that I just decided to do. I planned this out. I knew that whenever I had a group, I had to have so much engagement. It's almost like you want to engage, but you don't want to like over engage. You don't want to be over the top with it. So there's a fine line that you got to find with your community where they're going to continuously come back because you give them enough information, but not too much where they're just like, dude, this guy's on like every 20 minutes. So you got to find that fine line. Okay. So I technically like to just try to fill out the energy of the group. I like to fill out how people are responding. If I start getting messages privately from people and they're expressing their deep gratitude for whatever I'm doing, or maybe some sort of podcast that I had or something like that, I'm getting a lot of them from the Inner Circle, by the way. And I appreciate that, because that tells me that I'm in the right direction. Because if 2 or 3 of you are willing to, within a week, are willing to reach out to me and tell me that, I'm helping change your life, then I believe that there's many more in there that just haven't reached out yet. So it's just the way it works. Same thing if you start getting shitty complaints, by the way. If you start getting people complaining, then that's a deal, man. If you get 2 or 3 people that got the same complaint, there's probably 30 or 40 people thinking that shit, meaning that you better get on it. So you're better to be on the other side of the fence where people are giving you some compliments and telling you that you're doing a good job or you're helping them. So, but that's my tactical strategy for you guys, man. You guys need to get into the group game, y'all. You guys got to get into the group game. And hey, all you need is your group and my group, man. Because my group is going to teach you how to manage your group. I'm going to teach you how to do all of their kinds of cool things. And then you got your group to build your tribe. So anyhow, y'all, appreciate you for coming along on this Tactical Tuesday podcast. Man, love you guys a long time. Don't forget, tomorrow is Winner Wednesday. So if you're listening to this podcast, I mean, even if you hear this early on Wednesday, man, you guys need to get your reviews in, because if you don't get your reviews in time, then you cannot win. All right, everybody, I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.